In this video, I'm going to talk about how to never run out of things to say. Have you ever wanted to talk to anyone anywhere and you just see that incredible person, that woman or that man that you just want to go and talk to, and then you go there and then you are just like, hello? If you're like that and you just like freeze, and if you don't have things to say, then this video is for you. It could be in a personal context, but it could also be in a business or a professional context. Maybe you want to meet the next supervisor whose lab you're going to work with, or maybe you want to find a new boss who you want to go and talk to, and you want to ask for a pay raise maybe, or you just want to connect because you know that network is going to help you, and you go to them and then you just freeze. Then if that happens to you, then this video is for you, my friend. So how do you never run out of things to say? Wait, that teleprompter has frozen. I'm kidding, I don't use a teleprompter. And you know, if you've seen me make these videos, a lot of people think I actually script them, and I'm like, blasphemous. You think I script videos? And it's not because I don't want to prepare. I realized sometime last year that extemporaneous speaking is actually harder than, writing a script, because then you don't have that crutch to rely on. And I do write some points. I do make these cue cards, I'll show you soon. But a lot of this is just unscripted, and I think it's better and it's more energetic, and that's why I'm able to like bounce and change my tonality, because I'm actually feeling the emotions of what I want to convey. So if you want to never run out of things to say, then you need to know this thing first, that running out of things to say is an emotional problem. It's an emotional problem. It's not a tactical problem. You don't need to know more language. You don't need to memorize more lines. You don't need to read more, because, if you can watch this video, then that means that you have enough vocabulary to understand what I'm saying. You know enough English, clearly. So it's not about learning more. It's not more about learning more lines. Even though we are phrasing it as running out of things to say, it's not that you are actually out of things to say, because I'm pretty sure you have at least one environment. Now, this could be with your best friend, or just by yourself, or with your family perhaps, that you are able to be carefree and you never run out of things to say. How weird is it? Like, if you're with your best buddy, does it even make sense to think about running out of things to say with them? No, because you have endless energy to bounce off of, and you're just carefree. So it's not about techniques. It's not about language. It's not about buying the Oxford dictionary and start reading. That's not how you fix the problem. And so this is the first thing you need to know, is this awareness that running out of things to say is an emotional intelligence skill or a problem. And the way to overcome that is an emotional intelligence skill, which we'll discuss in this video. All right, here's something I want you to understand. So I've drawn a little graph for you, and what it says here is your self-worth, and what it says here is their self-worth. And what I'm saying is you're putting them on a pedestal. You're putting them on a pedestal. So whenever you are meeting someone with whom you want to network, or you want to perhaps ask them out, or perhaps you just want to create a friendship or a relationship, whenever you're meeting someone who you want to have that sort of a relationship with, then if you're running out of things to say, chances are high that you're putting them on a pedestal. Chances are high that you think you are here and they are here, and you're just like looking down like that. And when you look down like that, you're so submissive that you're like stifled, your body is tight, and of course you don't get ideas to say. Of course you don't have those emotions to contribute to and make their day, so that they want to connect with you, because you're stifled, because there's this sense that you're inferior in some way. And this also can be captured as the buyer-seller dynamic. And what that means is when you're selling something, there's something off, because you feel fundamentally you want to take something. But whereas when you're buying, let's say when you're the employer rather than the employee, you might have this sense that, hey, I'm the boss, I have resources. And so that's emotional equivalent of that is happening in your mind when you run out of things to say. You think this is too high pressure and others are going to judge you, and that they are up there and you are down here, and therefore nothing you can say will be worth it. So you try to like censor things so much, you try to watch yourself so much, you try to have that censored eye on you, that you're not able to say anything because your standards are too high. You're just too focused on delivering the perfect thing, the perfect line, and manipulating them in some way, and them having the perfect reaction to you, that you are inherently believing that you're inferior. And I want you to clearly get that sense. Like think of some time when you did run out of things to say. How were you thinking of people who are going to receive you? Were you thinking that they were equals, or were you thinking they are like higher than you in some way? The next thing I want you to know is neediness is repulsive. Whenever we are in the seller mindset, there might be this thing of that I'm needy. There might be thing that there's something I need from you. And whenever we have that sense that I need something from you, then that feeling is very repulsive. It's like, ew, it feels like that. Especially like think of people who are approached a lot. Maybe they are very attractive and therefore they're approached a lot, or maybe they have a lot of money and they can give jobs, that's why they're approached a lot. Whatever be the reason, they're constantly getting messages, right? And then if they have that much level of abundance, then if you go on and just ask, just hope that will work out, then that is a very repulsive feeling. Like neediness is a very repulsive feeling, and it's the major feeling that you need to understand if you want to master social skills. How do you be less needy? How do you heal your neediness from the roots? But for now, I just want you to understand that when you are running out of things to say, there's a certain neediness in it. So be it in front of a camera, you might need a certain amount of approval or likes or views or something, or be it with a person, you might need that person to like you. And the thing is, we cannot control other person's feelings, which is why that's an impossible hope. There will be people who will dislike me. There will be people who will not like this video. There will be people that you will not want to date you or not want to do business with you. And having that sense of neediness is like trying to control their feelings. It's like a grip on their feelings. You want it to be a certain way. And that's why this feeling is very repulsive, because ultimately it's a feeling of wanting control, and no one wants to be controlled, would they? So the natural solution, the natural next step to overcome this neediness is to improve your self-esteem. Improve your self-esteem. I'm giving you the long-term solutions, by the way, of never running out of things to say. It's not about memorizing some lines here and there. Sure, you might have some lines, you may say some things, and you may even get what you want. But how long are you able to sustain that? How long will you able to sustain that success if it's all scripted? And what will be the volume of your output? Probably not as much, because you're spending so much time scripting things. So improve your self-esteem. Now I've made a whole video on it, and I urge you to check it out. It's possible that it might come out later than this or earlier than this, but it'll be within a few weeks of this video. And then there's my podcast. You could check that out too. But you have to improve your self-esteem. The way you do that is you win more, you do more things, and you'll win some of them. And then you also work on your own identity. You work on like, I am the type of person who does X, Y, and Z. You say that every morning. You write it in your journal. You say like, I'm courage, I'm strength, I'm love. When I was working on my social anxiety, I said that to me every single day. This was my shower routine. I was like cold shower, like, I'm courage, I'm strength, I'm love. And I said that. And what happens when you have those sorts of messaging for you, that's the kind of identity you have, you show up that way. You do those things. Now, I'm not saying this is a replacement for action. Nah. I'm not saying just think and you'll somehow achieve. No, but this is something that will help you take action. This is something that will help you get into motion. And so build your self-esteem, win things, go and do things, and therefore you'll get rewarded for some of them, and that will naturally build your self-esteem. For a deep dive, watch my video on self-esteem. The next point, which I've made in multiple videos now, is worth comes from birth, which is to say that if you're going up and talking to someone, especially if it's in a personal context or friendships, then it's silly to think that you need to be someone in order to get them to like you. Like, that's just very strange, even if it means saying a few things that will get them. Now, of course, it helps to have better communication and it helps to improve your communication. Of course it does. But on a fundamental level, you don't need any permission to go and talk to someone, because worth comes from birth. The person who you want to talk to has the same human worth that you do. They're not inferior or superior to in any way. And truly getting that can unlock this massive sense of permission for you to go and talk to that person and never run out of things to say, because deep down you realize that, look, they're not superior to you. Yeah, they might have a certain cultural standard of beauty, or they might have more money, or they may be intelligent or smart or have this prize, the Nobel Prize, whatever, but they're not fundamentally as a human more worthier than you. And that can unlock a lot of permission for you to go and talk to someone. And you would be surprised as to how many people would be they would feel a breath of fresh air with that, because people are repelled by neediness. And when you say that, hey, look, I'm the same level as you, at least on the deepest fundamental human levels, then that is refreshing, because that takes the pressure away. Then we are just connecting as humans. And that's why, especially in personal relationships, you need to have that sense of, look, we are all the same. We are all the same worth, and we love each other the same way. Worth comes from birth. And hopefully that unlocks in you a permission to go and talk to people, and unlocks in you the permission to be yourself. Even if you get rejected, that doesn't mean your worth was tarnished in any way. It just means maybe the vibe's not there. Maybe you're not meant for each other. Sure, you can still work on yourself, work on your fitness, work on looking good and all of that. And yet, no matter how you look, no matter what your skin color is, our worth itself is the same. And this is the more deeper topic of understanding and healing shame, which also I've made a video on. But yeah, remember that when you're feeling someone is up there, like, look, fundamentally as humans, worth comes from birth. And the final skill here is offer value and give freely. The person who is not needy is able to offer. So if you want to work for someone, offer someone a free sample. Like, the editors who give me free samples, other editors I almost always at least respond to. If someone gives me good emotions, even if it's a stranger, I'll probably respond to that. And in the case of like a personal relationship scenario that you want to go and talk to someone who you want to date or make friends with, there's still that value exchange, but it's the exchange is in the form of emotions. We're all looking to be around people who make us feel good. And so if you can give emotions freely, like if you can be the source of light, and if you can go and hug people, and their permission of course, if you can go and bring joy to people, if you can bring humor or elegance or beauty and joy in people's lives, then people would take that, and then some people would respond back. And so instead of being needy and wanting their approval, why don't you start with giving approval, and you start with shining your light, and then you'll see some people would respond back, and then there's that beautiful connection which can develop into a friendship or a relationship. So give freely, offer value and give freely. That's how you get people to say yes more to you, because you're not asking anything back, you're just giving. And if people take, that's good, and that's how you build that connection. So offer value and give freely. That's how you convert a lot of those no's into yeses. A part of it is also not to expect all of them will be yeses, but it's to offer freely. Like what I'm doing with you right now is offering a lot of things freely. Someday down the line, I may offer some course and some of you might want to take it. But until then, or regardless, I'm offering freely. I'm here to give a lot of my insights and my education freely. And so that's what you want to do as well. Just offer and give things freely, and then ask at a point where you think there's enough of a goodwill and enough of a relationship that you have built. All right, so hope this inspires generosity. You could think of your words as generosity, and therefore you should not be censoring them as much, because your presence is valuable. Your presence is a gift, and remember that when you're meeting people or talking in front of a camera, that your presence is a gift. So therefore what you say has value, and we need you to be on your A game so that your light can come to the world and we all benefit from it. So hopefully this helps get a deeper dive on how to never run out of things to say. What all of these things will do is remove the stifling around you, remove the pressure and the cage you're in, so that you're more free and the words flow out of you and emotions flow out of you, more importantly. All right, this is Sankalp signing off.